What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Before we start this wonderful podcast, I want to vent out real quick about this weather. This weather is inconsistent. It's hot. It's cold. It's rainy. Then it's sunny. It's dreary. Then it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what, Abe?
What?
You know what's consistent?
What is that?
Inverted gear. Inverted gear is always dope. Is always fresh. Always feels right. Always hugs my body. Always snuggles me up in the finest threads. It's just really good to me, man.
You know what they say? Consistency is key.
Oh, and you know what's key?
What?
Inverted gear.
What's the coupon code?
What is the coupon code?
The coupon code is ShowTheArt15.
Oh,
Save yourself
there it
15% off if
Save
you go to
it.
their website, invertedgear.com, and plug that thing in.
Get it in before WrestleMania. This has nothing to do with inverted gear, but just watch it while you're watching WrestleMania or wear it.
Boom. What if you're into coffee?
Oh, man. Boy, do I have something for you.
What is that?
Chimera Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Spelled with a K.
Okay.
I-M.
E-R-A.
There you go.
Coffee with a K.
Coffee with a K. Maybe it's with a C. But it doesn't matter because Chimera Coffee is the number one coffee in our lives.
Guys, we drink Chimera coffee before every podcast episode, and best believe it gets us a little bit more in the zone. It kind of like pushes...
A little bit, homie.
Dude,
a lot of bit.
The way I describe it is like you're not going to get this big buzz.
True.
But it's going to push you into that zone where you need to be. You want to get focused?
Vision.
Yeah, it's going to push you into that zone. You need a nudge? Boom, you're pushed in.
Chimera Coffee. Nudge the shit out of you.
Coupon code ShowTheArt. Put it in. You get 10% off all of your order. You be good to go.
Yeah. We got one more thing, dog.
Yeah, go to M85.com. Our last sponsor is M85. They sell jiu-jitsu rash guards. They sell gear on there.
The logo's fresh to death.
Yeah, look them up. Email him. Maybe he can work on your next logo. So go to M85.com. If you're going to purchase some of his gear, type in the coupon code STA20 20 and save like 20% off big time.
20, homie, 20.
Big time.
Not 10, not 5, not 15, not even 16.
Not even 19.
Not even 19.5.
20%.
20, man. Save yourself some money.
M85.com. Ready to delve deep?
We're going deep in this bitch.
Ready to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? Welcome to the Show the Art podcast.
Oh, are we starting this?
That's it. That was the intro.
Yo.
We are your hosts. I'm Abe. This is Ames.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? Welcome to the show.
I dig that.
You like that?
I what kind of feel can I give that?
I don't know.
But I don't know. I like it. It's a different feel.
I was trying to like make it seducing to listen to the episode.
Yeah, it was thought provoking.
Yeah. Are you ready to step in to the Thunderdome? One of those type deals.
I like that.
Yeah.
It had a little DX, Degeneration.
Oh,
X.
really?
Oh, speaking of, Abe,
Yep. Please.
I thought this weekend wasn't going to be that special.
Why?
Hold up. I think we're looking at the same thing. I thought this weekend wasn't going to be special because there's no UFC, but I just found that there's something more special.
What's that?
There's WrestleMania on this Sunday, brother.
What's that? You should see
There's
the look on his face.
WrestleMania. This
Oh, really?
The granddaddy of them all.
Okay, I've been hearing some buzzes about it, right?
There's more than buzzes, brother.
Mind you, I don't really watch wrestling
He
at
watches
all
it
anymore.
every night.
It's not.
He
I
DVRs
don't
it.
watch it at all.
He's lying.
But I've been hearing some buzz.
Okay, what's the buzz that you've been hearing?
That it's whack this time. That's the buzz that I've been hearing from fans saying it's kind of weak.
This is all I got to tell you.
It's kind of weak.
You ready for it? Might be the main event or co-main event. You ready for this one?
What's that?
Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar.
Again? Listen,
actually, it is again.
I'll tell you what. The first fight or the first match was whack, and that was probably the last WrestleMania I watched. Now that I think about it,
he's scarred. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Hey, let them redeem themselves, man.
It was like a hand tie.
That was
match.
such a bad.
And then it was literally a hand tie, like muscle wrestling, like push you, and then special move, and then pin, and it was like
who I forgot.
we
I
got
even
cheated.
forgot who. I think Goldberg won that
who
match.
cares?
Yeah,
We
true.
lost.
We lost. The fans lost.
Yeah, I think Goldberg won.
Yeah, but we lost. That's a good
We
point.
Lost, yeah.
Well, there goes trying to change you into a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but is it gonna be weak? Not whack, but
No.
is it supposed to be weak?
This is gonna be a strong WrestleMania. The strongest it's been in a while. The past 3 to 5 years, I would say this.
How about Jink Swagger? Is he in it? Is that his name?
First of all, it's Jack Swagger.
Jink.
Jack.
Okay.
Jack Swagger. But he's gone. He's
good.
long gone
Thank
now.
God. I don't even know who he is, but thank God he's gone. I hear Edge and Christian have their own podcast now.
Oh, do they?
That's what I heard.
I would listen to that. They're entertaining.
Yeah, they were on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani.
How the hell were they on the...
Because he's a wrestling fan, and he just has pull.
So
and
he
has
knows.
lean. He could put pressure.
So Ariel's smart. He's a smart man. He's
Yeah.
a true fan of the arts.
Sure. You could say that.
Yeah, all the martial arts.
Of the mixed entertainment arts.
Hey, good for him, man. Hey, Ariel, if you need another
Host?
cohort, a wrestling mind of genius level, just let me know.
Okay.
But who do we got on today? Are we calling him right now?
Yeah, today we have on DaRulk.
The Rulkalicious.
Rulkalicious. He's ready to be called, so I'm going to call him now. Bear with me, guys.
So let's get this going.
Let's get this show on the road. Let's see. Press call. Boom. This guy said he should be calling me.
Oh, you're
Like the producers,
You're big time now.
No, he should be calling the producers.
You're big time.
But I told him 1 second. Oh, snap! This is real. It's getting real.
This is live, in full effect.
Yeah, introduce him and. Hello.
Hey.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hold on, let me put on these earphones. Hold on 1 second.
Please do, DaRulk. The dark.
You call him DaRulk?
Yeah, that's his name.
You called him my Instagram name? Please do. Show
Listen.
the art, Abe.
Listen. The only name that matters in this world is your Instagram name.
That's true.
So, Amesy Pie, I would shut the hell up.
What's up, brothers?
Yo, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Does it sound okay? Am I on all right? Audio's okay?
I think so, but
You're a little low.
I'm a little low.
Yeah.
you're on the low, dog.
I gotta get high. Wait, I gotta talk.
You need to get a little
You
higher.
gotta get a little high, man.
Sorry, it's a tone.
There you go. Hit the falsetto,
There
brother.
it is. I knew it. I knew it. La, ma, 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 la, 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 la. Oh, there you go. We're good.
Better,
We're good.
better.
Is it
Golden
good?
throat, bro. It's all
There.
good.
The golden throat.
Golden throat.
Let's move past that one.
No, man. Let's stick to that right now. Did you just come up with that, or that's been in your vocab?
Dude, that's it, bro. Come on. That's a staple right there. The golden throat,
You know
bro.
why Ames is going crazy right now? Because that's what they used to call him in high school.
Damn.
The golden
I was
throat.
gonna switch that
No,
on you. I was gonna switch that on you. I'm mad you got that before me.
Set him up, I'll knock
I
him
know,
down.
man. Hey, Rulk, what's going on, brother?
Not too much, man. Just doing my thing. How you guys doing, man? It's been a while.
Excellent, man.
So-
Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the
Of course.
Show the Art podcast
Yeah, man.
featuring Rulk.
You guys are blowing up, bro. You're just next level. It's been crazy. You're everywhere. Show the art everywhere.
We don't want to brag, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, man. You're on point.
You're on point. You're all right. I just thought of an idea, Rulk.
What's up?
I don't know if you noticed on our Instagram, we've been doing these little Instagram takeovers.
Oh.
See where I'm going?
So you cut out. Say that again, brother.
I said, I don't know if you noticed, but on our Instagram, we've been doing these little Instagram takeovers.
Ah, yes.
So
I've seen that.
What
I've seen that.
what we do for people who don't know what that is we ask an athlete of our choosing, and we allow them to post things throughout their day to give people an inside look into their life.
I see. I like it.
Would you
brother.
be
I
down?
like it.
Would you be
Are you
down?
are you
Of
with
course,
us?
Of course.
I hate to put you on the spot, but would you be down?
Of course.
There
I'm
you
doing
go.
anything for you boys, man. Golden throat, bro. Golden throat.
Yeah. We got a new hashtag, our boy Golden Throat.
Hashtag Golden Throat. Takeover. The takeover's done by Golden Throat.
They were like, "Is this the right?
Yeah.
Did we come to the right Instagram account?"
It's just a picture of Ames in high school. It's just a picture of Ames.
His prom picture. He's got a gold suit on at his prom.
Oh
Golden
man,
Throat.
I thought Goldfinger was serious trouble. Shit.
Oh man.
Damn, man.
Good times. Dude, what's going on? What's new? What's the haps?
Not too much. I mean, like I said, just a lot of stuff's been going on since last time we talked. Of course, my son's thing. My son got in a bad accident, but after that, I mean, basically, which kind of rattled me up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, had to refocus and do a lot of different stuff. But yeah, he's on the mend and on the road to recovery, and everyone's been super, super supportive. So it's been awesome.
That's awesome, man. Can we get into it? Because that was really rough. That happened, a few months ago? How long has it been since?
Yeah, like it's been about 2 months ago. It was bad, man. We were, a lot of people. Some people know, some people don't know what happened. But I was going on a walk with my son in Orange County, where we live. We went on a long walk, and then we kind of came across we always got to the crosswalk area by Fashion Island, which is the Newport Beach. And we got the crosswalk. It was green, and we waited. My son wanted to run across, and the light turned green. The crosswalk turned green, so we jogged across halfway. And there's a lot of cars. There was a lot of cars at that time. So I told him, "Hey, go ahead, get to the other side and go ahead and run through it." Basically, as soon as he got outside of my grasp, my hand, I saw a car coming flying out of the parking lot. I mean, they were coming fast, but I was thinking, they're coming toward us. I was thinking, well, maybe they're coming fast and they're going to stop right at the signal. They're going fast, they're going to stop quickly. But then they started to veer to the right, and that they're going to turn. And basically, they got to the crosswalk, and they basically let go of the gas for a second. They gunned through the crosswalk. So they basically they just ran through my son. They blew through my son, like literally like 6 feet in front of me. And he flew in the air, and then he fell down, and it was gnarly, but it was a pretty intense thing.
Oh shoot, that is rough, man.
That's sorry to hear, man.
Yeah. Man,
no, it's okay, but he's doing better, and there was definitely some rough stuff to go through. I never would wish that on anyone, especially a dad, especially with your kid there, and you go through all these things mentally about, should I have done this, or what if I would have just stopped early? We would stop and grab a drink somewhere else. We left 5 minutes later, or whatever whatever I could do. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it happened, and he's still alive, and that's what I'm blessed about. And like I said, the reach out from everybody, all the friends and everyone that that I know, even people I don't know, was amazing, and it really helped because it kind of kept us positive in a time when it was pretty dark.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that felt like to be a father, like a coach, to see something happen, and there's like at that moment, just you probably replayed everything like exactly what you said, man, like that heart drop.
It's just crazy, because it's crazy because what you start running into is that as a parent or as a dad, you're looking at it, and even though it was like, hey man, it was their fault, with the green crosswalk.
Yeah,
you thinking about it, but your kid looks to you, even though it's green, and they had surveillance cameras. But they did their police report and said it's 100% their fault. And they went through it, but you're still telling yourself, man, I should have done something different. I should have done, because your kid, all they're doing is listen to you, and all you want to do is protect them. So it was just hard, man. There's some things that when I went to see him, and I was so mad. I ran after the guy that he got out of the car about 10 or 15 yards down. And I've never been that angry in my life, but I was so pissed. And then my son was calling for me, so I went to him. And all my anger kind of went away, and I was just focused on him. And he's just like, "Hey, we too scared." And he was asking me, he's like, "You always say you protect me. What happened?" And I was just like, "Bro, that crushed me, bro," because that's that's my whole thing, And it's just one of those things where, you can't blame him for anything he said because he just was scared. But as a parent, when your child's like, you said you'd always protect me, and it was a hard pill to swallow. We're still dealing with it, but it's like I said, all we can do now is try to do the best, to hug him a little tighter and be more vigilant with things. But I'm telling you, man, things can happen so quickly in life, and it's scary. It's when nothing's guaranteed, and it was an intense thing.
Oh man,
yeah, that's
tough. I think it's one of those like time will heal.
Yeah, and luckily he's a child that he doesn't fully understand everything that happened, and one day when he's older, he'll get like, it just happened the way it happened. It's not like
and I think
like
so. I mean, like I said, there's people that have gone through a lot of stuff. I mean, it's as that happens, my son, I saw a lot of other parents and people that were going through similar, or worse situations where it's much worse, life-threatening.
Yeah.
With their kids, they lost their kids, and you look at it and you just go, put it in perspective, and at least he's going to be able to, he's alive, and we're going to work through everything. But yeah, it's been hard. He has a great attitude. He's an amazing kid.
That's
I'm very
awesome.
blessed to be his dad, and it was a hard deal, but we're getting through it.
That's
But
good, man.
but yeah, it's day by day, I guess. Sometimes.
And how is
some
he-
days are better than others.
Yeah.
How is he doing now physically? What kind of injuries did he sustain?
It was his leg that was really bad. I mean, the car hit him so hard that the bone didn't just break; it exploded. Like it just exploded because it hit him so hard.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit about like almost putting together, broken glass. If you put together a glass that was broken, a piece, it's like even with glue, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of variables in trying to make sure that the bone was straight and make sure that nothing other damages. And we'll see. Like as it's been a process, so we'll have to see. There's a lot of specialists, and we'll have to see how things go as we progress through. But he's had an amazing attitude, positive attitude, and it just kind of inspires me to kind of, hey man, if he's the one that actually went through it, so I got to kind of push to, and push through it. But he still has a sense of humor, and it makes you appreciate things a little bit better, and realizing that things can just do, bro, at any time, things can be taken away. So, but yeah, I appreciate everyone's support. That's been the most amazing thing. Everyone, all the guys, all the boys, and even people I don't know, that are like, hey man, we're there for you, positive vibes out to you, etc. And it really, really helped more than people I think understand. It really, really helped. It's best. So. But yeah, we're good. Things are on the mend, brother. We're all right.
There you go, man. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah, man. Oof. Like you said, thank God he's alive and he's well right now.
No,
he's doing better. That's the main thing. Because I mean,
I was like, I told him, I said,
yeah.
I was like, man, a car even hit an SUV ran through him, and he's still moving. So he's like, yeah, that's right. He's like, I'm good. I was like, I'm the son of the road. I'm good. So I was like, all right.
That's right.
I told him, I said, he should have been crawling to the crosswalk. If he was crawling to the crosswalk,
you would have slipped it the whole.
Yeah. It would have been better, bro. It would have been better, bro.
It would have been a different story.
Now, when you walked up to him, did you say like, "Hey, you should see what happened to the truck. Truck is mangled."
He thought this was bad.
Yeah, he's good. It's awesome, man. I mean, I think if anything, he's such a sweet kid, and he's a little more introverted, like a wallflower like me, real quiet.
And how old is he?
No, he's 10. He's 10, but he's a great kid, much better than me. But smart kid, and it was good. I think he saw how much everyone actually cared. When those things happen, you realize how many, how good. There's a lot of good people. You just forget about it. I think all of us kind of go through life and we forget like. Everyone's this, you become a little bit cynical and callous, but then you're like, man, when stuff happens, a lot of people are just inherently just good people, want to help you and support you. So
sure. You know what's crazy? The first time I had you on the show, I don't think Ames was even around to be on the show yet. But
Golden Throat wasn't there. Golden Throat wasn't around.
Golden Throat.
I was doing my Golden Throat thing.
Yeah, he was doing live shows.
I was still graduating high school.
Yeah.
He was on tour. He was on
tour in Atlantic City Saturday night.
I remember he was headlining. I remember that.
Hey guys, it's not about me today. It's not about me.
For some reason,
let's talk about you guys, man.
For some reason, his live shows were at places called Wet and
Sultry,
and Dancing Dolls, stuff like that. Like that's where he performs.
Yo, let's get into this, man. Don't talk about me.
So anyway,
what were you saying? I'm sorry. What were you saying, Abe? So you said the first time was on before Golden Throat.
Yeah, Abe, jackass.
The first time I had you on the show, and I was talking to you, you had mentioned your son, and I forget what the story was, but what I remember is you were telling me about something he had said, something profound, and I know we laughed about it, but it was very profound, and it showed how mature your son is and how wise your son can be, even though he doesn't realize it. But that's a reflection of who his parents are. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I think, like I said, I'm just blessed to be his dad. It's interesting, you know, with kids, their perspective on things is in many ways the way that we hope that we would be. You know, they're not jaded. They still have hope.
Yeah.
They believe in a lot of things, and you know, it's just I think it's beautiful. It's a good thing, and I think for him now, it's just a matter of just looking at the positives and just saying, "Things are gonna get better.
Exactly.
Things are gonna get better," and yeah, you look at that, and you can apply that even to my own life and say, "I'm gonna be better in this way, be a better dad." And, you know, better at this and that. And, yeah, it helps out a lot. It helps out a lot. But yeah, I appreciate all the support from everyone. It's meant a lot. And yeah, but we're on the road. Road recovered, brother. Road recovered.
Hell yeah, that's a beautiful the process. The process was one of the most beautiful things, because once you get to the end, you really appreciate like everything that you went
it's
through,
so true, so true, brother. It's just you get to the end and you're just like, man, you know, you get through it. And, it's like anything, like good days and bad days.
Yeah.
You know, the sun goes down, the sun comes up, and next day, and you got to keep moving, and you know, helps have a good positive outlook and look at it. Some days it's hard, but you look around you, have people supporting you and got your back. It's always important.
That's true, man. It's just like with all tough times, you always have to see, like you said, you have to see the blessings, like all the positives around you. Because if you don't, it's gonna be a rough road, man. You're just gonna be lonely. You're just gonna head down. It's not the way to go, man. So I'm glad I'm glad. First of all, like everyone reached out and showed you love, and two, it's just you're seeing like the blessings and everything that the good that's gonna come out of all of this or this situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's been good. Like I said, it's always it's clarity of anything. You know what I mean? I mean, during these moments, you gotta if you go through difficult times or you go through great times, good times, bad times, hard times. Yeah, it's all about gaining perspective and clarity and seeing how you can better yourself from it or learn from it and move forward. So this is no exception. So definitely one of the ways I'm doing it.
Yeah, man. So let's move right along. Oof, that was
you got it.
A heavy dose. So what?
Go ahead, go through it.
That was. Let me clear my throat real quick.
Tell a joke to lighten up the mood, bro. Come on, tell me a joke, Dave.
So two Filipinos walk into a bar.
Cut.
That's better. That's better. We're back in the zone.
We're
back in the zone,
Yo,
baby.
so what's training like? Because I think you texted us like a week ago that you did like a 30 million meter row in like a day.
No, you know.
How was that?
We were doing. I was just, I was on the road. It's the same thing for me with training. There's always guys that are going to be super strong, and I train a lot of them, and the guys are super strong, super fast, etc. And for me, I was just on the rower, just rowing, and rowed, was it 10,000, 20,000 meters? And I was like,
no big deal.
That was challenging. Yeah, that was challenging. But I was like, man, what if we just did 100,000 meters? I was like, I'm gonna do 100,000 meters.
F it.
I was like, wow, let's see how long that takes. That would take, that would take 10, 11 and a half hours. And I was like, that'd be awesome. And then I told a lot of my trainers, and they're like, well, if you do it, then we'll do it. And I was like, nice. So I'm trying to put together like a 1,000,000 meter row. So like basically me, I'll try to take on 100,000 meters, and then a lot of my guys will take on a couple, 100,000 themselves, and I'll try to tail end at the 100,000 at the very end and try to get 1,000,000 meters. So, like I said, for me, it's just training. It's not necessarily something specifically for sports performance or to get stronger fast. It's just something for mentally, for me especially, because it's not mind numbing if anything, but it's something that anyone could do, just like crawling. It's just challenging, and you have to push yourself. And that's something that always does intrigue me. You're always trying to push past stuff where you may not be the fastest, you might not be the strongest, but you're mentally strong. You're able to push through things, and that's kind of where I want to be. That's always something that intrigues me. So
now, let me ask you a question, because you are someone who's been almost revolutionizing long distance kind of movements, doing things for a very long time. What is the secret behind doing something for a long time? Like, I was trying to get to the point where I could do bear crawls for a long time, like minutes at a time. Right. Normally we do like a couple reps down and back, and then you do 3 sets of that. But I was like trying to incorporate what you do, where I'm doing it for a time. So I got to the point where I got to like 6 minutes straight, which was pretty good for me, considering I started at like 2 minutes.
Right.
But how do you train for that? How do you get to the point where you can do that for long periods of time? Because it's different than just lifting weights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think with any movement, similar to, whether it's jiu-jitsu or it's any combat sports, any sports in general, it's just efficiency of the movement. You know what I mean?
True.
You just have to learn to become more efficient at it. With crawling, it's just learning how to be more efficient at it. With rowing, with anything you do, with any type of specific technique you have when you're drilling in jiu-jitsu, it's, as you know, it's all about efficiency. What you're doing correctly, what you're not. You're spending too much energy doing this. You're spending not enough energy doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I love about it, too, because it's teaching you how to learn. You teach your body how to become more efficient, because if you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So it's something that I love, because efficiency of movement, being able to do things for long periods of time, mentally strong, to endure. Those are all, variables that I love, that intrigue me, and I see in all of the top athletes and people that are extremely successful, not even only in athletics, but in life.
Yeah.
So those are things that I like to apply and transfer over to people in general.
Dope. Is it kind of like walking? Like when we're newborn babies, right? We don't have the strength to do anything. Then you start crawling. Then crawling turns into walking. And at first, you can't walk because you don't have the coordination. But once you have the coordination, you can't walk for long distances because you don't have the strength. Then eventually, we come to the point like today where all of us can walk easy, right? It's not even a thing. And that's because we were doing it all the time. We walk all the time, everywhere we walk. So
I agree.
Do you have to incorporate? Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's okay. I agree. I think the one thing, though, you got to put into play is, it's like all of us can walk, but do we all walk correctly? Do we walk efficiently? Do we walk with good posture? Do we walk with correct gait? Do we work with those? And like I said, transferring that over to, I know most of the people that listen are jiu-jitsu practitioners. So in jiu-jitsu, it's like doing drilling. If you're drilling, but you're drilling incorrectly, you can do the movement, and you can do the technique, but. And then the problem with that is it's habitual, because it becomes a habit. Mm-hmm. So if you do things
incorrectly, did you just
call
me a bitch?
Yes, he did.
Habitual. Yeah, habitual. That's your new name.
Yeah.
Not habitual. It's Golden Throat and habitual. That's your name. Habitual.
He's speaking for me. Thank you.
Hashtag habitual. Hashtag habitual.
We got another one. Add another one on the board, boys.
Hashtag Golden Throat. Hashtag habitual.
Don't be habitual. Oh shit!
But my whole thing, like I said, it becomes a habit. So if you do things incorrectly, or you do it, and it's hard, and then you have to go through the whole process of trying to break your habit, and then to relearn how to do things correctly.
It's even harder.
So it's even harder. So my whole thing is, as you learn something, you have a great opportunity to just do it correctly, do it right, and don't try to skip steps, and you'll get there. So
no, I guess I was focusing on the wrong thing. I was focusing on doing it often, as opposed to you're focusing on doing it correctly, and the efficiency will allow you to do it more often. But
I think repetition is important, but it's about, you have to do the repetition. You have to do the movement pattern correctly. I think that's the important thing. Otherwise it's really like drilling a movement that you're doing incorrectly. You're just like creating a problem for yourself down the road.
And it's absolutely frustrating. I know you guys could speak on this, like as a coach, when you see someone and you try to like tell them like, hey, you could be more efficient by doing this, and they nod their head,
they're like,
and they go back to the same thing. You're like, son of a, come on, man, I'm trying to help you out. Help me, help you, dog.
Oh, there it is. It's back. Help me, help you. I love it, bro.
Bring it out.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think people, in general, people don't like to change. I mean, people are, as human, all of us, we tend to gravitate to things that are going to be a little bit easier for us, or things we're comfortable with. But the people that grow the most, and I think are the most efficient at things, are ones that are okay being uncomfortable. Be comfortable in uncomfortable positions. I mean, my good friend Rener Gracie is always be comfortable in uncomfortable positions, and the more comfortable you are in that, the better you're going to be.
Sure.
And because you won't panic. And I think that's the same thing with any kind of movement, with training. I just think as training and strength conditioning is starting to continue to evolve, it evolves like every other sport or movement. I think, especially for combat athletics and for MMA and for jiu-jitsu and for striking, it's just a matter of trying to complement and enhance what you're learning, and not necessarily trying to smash people. We talked about this before.
Yeah, man.
It's not, if you're in the sport specifically like a CrossFit or something where your sport is to exercise and to be efficient at exercise, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to be efficient at jiu-jitsu or efficient at judo or efficient at boxing or striking, it doesn't, the goal is to become efficient at that. So everything inherently around that should be there to help enhance it or better you in that specific technique or movement, and if it's not, then it's really, how's that helping you?
Yeah, true. Now, let me ask you a question, moving on to the style of exercise, because I forget, like greasing the groove, guys that implement that style of training, kind of what, I mean, I don't know if you do that, but doing things instead of for repetitions, for sets on a weekly basis, 2 times or 3 times a week. What if you're someone who does the greasing the groove method where you're doing a couple of pull-ups every day, a couple times a day, you're doing a couple squats, you're just incorporating exercise to your daily routine, and you're not overwhelming yourself where you become sore. You slowly adapt to the movements.
Working at a submaximal level.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
I think my whole thing is that adaptation is the key. And we talked about this before. I think, we're survival organisms. We just want to survive. The body just wants to survive. So the body will adapt based upon what situation you put it in and what stress or strain you place on it.
Yeah.
And that's how we get stronger, because the body then learns how to adapt, and the body gets stronger or whatever it needs to do to deal with that stress that you put on it. So I definitely agree. I think for me, whatever you do, and I like changing up the modality. I think every genre of exercise has its benefits if it's done correctly. I think depending upon what you're specifically trying to do in regards to your strength, if it's mobility is more important in your sport or in your life, or conditioning or strength, then you can fine tune or tailor that specific curriculum for that, and to gear more in that direction. But I think it's all about focusing on adaptation. So if you're doing something, you're changing it the next day, and you're changing it up, I think that's great, because I think, especially in jiu-jitsu, and we were talking, I know, once again, focusing on jiu-jitsu, is that you just never know what your opponent's going to do. You don't know, of course you can put yourself in a situation to learn how to adapt, and you drill so your body knows it's familiar with being in a situation, or you watch tape on someone and know their tendencies and what they're trying to do. But you have to teach your body to learn how to adapt, so that whatever position you're in, again, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and that's kind of what it's all about. And the more that you train like that, I think the more important, the more efficient you're going to be, and it's going to help you in whatever situation you're in.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. No, I was just going to say, like, what would that benefit as opposed to what would that benefit someone doing, those kind of adaptation training, greasing the groove type deal, as opposed to doing a split routine at the gym? Like, what would that benefit differently than doing it, like a strength routine 3 times a week, that kind of deal?
Yeah, it's hard. There's so many variables that go into that too, because all of us, in addition to that, all of us have specific, weaknesses or deficiencies, whether it be in whatever area it is. Like, some guys are super strong, but they're super stiff. They're not very mobile.
Yeah.
There's guys that are super super strong, but then their conditioning is terrible. So it's all based on trying to create a specific fine-tuned curriculum for you as an individual. And I think group training is great to kind of push you to a next level. I think that's why people love group training. But individual training, and that's why jiu-jitsu is so great, because although you train with your team or you train with your academy, you have your own game, and you learn your own style. It's very individual. It's very personal.
True.
And I think in that, training and conditioning should just fall in line with that. You shouldn't stay with a specific, like, this is the template that I need to follow. It's not. Maybe it's not for you. And not to say that you shouldn't train. You should train, but just learn what works for you. There's some guys that love to cycle, some guys love to swim, and that's great. But I would encourage people that if you find something you're comfortable with, great, and do that. But at the same time, now push yourself out of the box.
Yeah.
If you've never done CrossFit and you think, this is that, then try it. Give it a shot, but do it in moderation, and just go understanding that you're trying to learn the new techniques and see how the application can basically, work for you.
Sure.
And for me, I think it's always been more about, the mobility, the movement patterns, and understanding, your nervous system, and also the mental component, because I think that's something that carries over and crosses over regardless of what you're doing. And so, yeah, that's kind of been always my focus, is adapting and teaching the body, because the mind leads the body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I try to make sure that there's a mind-body connection in some capacity to everything that I do.
Yeah. Now, with your when you're training your athletes, do you set goals for them to accomplish, or do you have like a template out for them? Like, how do you kind of get them from point A to point B?
You know, it depends. I mean, that's a great question. I mean, there's a lot of trainers that I know, and I being one of them, that have, you know, sat down and said, okay, this is the objective. This is your current strength at this movement, and we want to try to improve it so that we have a benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. But at the same time, it depends, because, you know, for when I'm working with combat athletes, it's not so much, they don't really care if you've gotten stronger in a specific exercise by 15, 20 pounds. How does that translate then into you becoming more efficient and powerful on the mat or in the cage? It's hard. You know what I mean? So I try to just wrap it around how they feel, how they perform after. So a lot of times we'll work a training session, and afterward have them move through some movement patterns that they would utilize in, you know, whether they do jiu-jitsu or they're striking, just to see how they feel and see how the body feels. And it's more of kind of that for me, specifically with the athletes. And, you know, there's people that are going to say, no, you have to gauge it and figure out, that way you know if you're doing it correctly. I agree. But a lot of the times there's so many variables that go into that, that some days you feel strong, some days you're not. So then what if I test you on a day that you're strong, or then I test you the next time on a day that you just had 3 training sessions and you're feeling like crap. You know, now you're weak. Does that mean the whole training's wrong? I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of variables that go into that, so you can understand how that, you know.
Absolutely.
But again, I'm not opposed. I'm not against anyone that does that, you know, follows that methodology. But you know, for me, it's more of just kind of a fluid thing. Let's find out how you're feeling today, and let's work on what we can today and what you feel good with, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Okay. Now, in your professional opinion, I mean, it's no secret that you train some high level athletes, but in your professional opinion, when you see, let's say, MMA fighters, pro MMA fighters, let's say the highest level UFC champion MMA fighters, would you say, because there's been some controversy, some people say you should be focusing on your conditioning more than your technique a couple weeks out from the fight. Some people say the opposite. In your opinion, do you think that martial arts athletes, MMA athletes, leading up to the fight should be focused more on their martial technique, which is their timing, the efficiency of their movements, the sharpness of their technique, everything that revolves around their martial technique? Or do you think they should be focusing on the efficiency, the technique of their conditioning more?
You know, it's interesting. I think that's a great question. For me, I don't utilize a lot of load or, you know, weights in a lot of my training. I do. I know how to, and I've been, you know, trained to do so. But with a lot of the fighters or combat athletes in MMA, as the fight gets closer, it's always about, you know, one of the variables that everyone knows is injury prevention. You know, these guys, this is how they make their money. So you don't want them to get, you know, smashed them, they get injured, you know, doing a lift, getting ready for a fight. Now they can't fight, and then they can't get paid. But these guys, that's how they make their living. So it's more about, as they get closer, I think, I do a lot more body weight movements, a lot of my RFT stuff.
Okay.
Working on mobility, getting the nervous system fired. Conditioning, of course, is very important, but also kind of, you know, being very mindful of their technique and training, because if their training schedule is such that they're working on specific new movement patterns or new techniques for the fight or new techniques for the competition, you have to be mindful of that and incorporate that into an understanding. And I try to work the curriculum around what they're doing. So if they're doing a lot of groundwork, we'll do a lot more base groundwork on the conditioning, so they're used to being on the ground. If they're going to be doing more stand-up, it's going to be more of a stand-up battle or stand-up fighter. The focus, of course, then is more, you know, you don't have to do a lot of crawl work. You have to focus on being in the positions and similar positions as you would be in the fight. So in that regards, as you guys know, many times in training or in sparring, that you try to mirror what you're going to, you know, encounter in the fights, your body can learn and adapt, once again, getting back to adaptation to that situation. So you're familiar. Same thing happens with conditioning. I think you have to get your body and to enhance that. Conditioning is there to enhance the training, enhance and make you better at fighting, make you stronger, make you fight longer, you know, and those are things that people forget sometimes. I think as strength conditioning coaches, you get so wrapped up to let's get them stronger and faster, be beasts, and It's really not the case. All I care about is if you don't get, much stronger during the camp, but you're more conditioned and your body fires better when you're fighting. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Is that my job is there to make you better at what you do, which is fighting. You know, and that's I think sometimes what some coaches forget.
Yeah, that's the bottom line at the end of the day.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's the bottom line. I mean, at the end of the day, if you end the fight, you're like, listen, I'm not any faster. I don't feel any faster, not any stronger. But I was firing like crazy. My body felt great. I was able to execute all my techniques and my game plan. You know, that's all you care about. That's weird. That's our role in the whole camp. True. Is to make sure that you come in and you feel conditioned and you have enough wind and you're strong enough to endure whatever techniques that you want to apply and however you want to fight the fight. So I think that's something that sometimes strength and conditioning coaches tend to forget about because they just want, let's get you as strong and as fast as possible.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's important, but let's get you efficient. Let me try to do whatever I can to enhance what you're trying to do in the ring, in the cage.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of times these trainers are so stuck on what they think is the best way that they won't kind of adjust. Say like a basketball coach like Greg Popovich can kind of change his scheme depending on what kind of players he has.
Gotcha.
So I think it's the same thing that's just as important as a strength coach or whatever. You just can't. It's just like this one way isn't the only way. They're like there's more than one way to skin a cat. So I think that's the beauty of it. I think the great coaches are the ones that could kind of move around, like exactly what you said, like, be fluid with what you're training and how you're training, and what you're giving your
exactly.
Athlete.
I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people that you guys. There's people that think very analytically, and I think there's benefits to that. Don't get me wrong. There are benefits to that analytical mindset in a variety of different ways, especially in sports and in training.
I agree,
and I see the benefits of that. But I tend to be a little more fluid. I like to apply to use those applications, but at the same time, you know, when guys come in camp or like we're training with, for example, like Cyborg or whoever comes in, and they're coming to see me, 3-4 days a week, I always have to go, first thing I do is, how are you feeling today? You know, what's sore? This hurts. We work around it, you know what I mean? Because my job is if she's already blown out in her legs, she's been doing Muay Thai for the last, she had 2 practices back to back, she's been smashed and sparring. Is my job really then to push her on it, to get her stronger on her legs and more explosive? Today's probably not the day, so we have to be able to adapt to that and say, okay, this is what we're going to focus on. All right, you're real stiff. Let's focus on mobility today. Let's get dynamic mobility movements in and work on it. Let's get better today with what we have available. And I think that's important to everybody. I think, I think in having that very rigid blueprint is important for people in general who just want to get in shape because it keeps us accountable to do what we need to do even when we don't want to. I get that. But for elite athletes, people that are already their job and intent and their willingness to train is not ever in question. It's more of a situation of getting in there and figuring out how we get you better today.
Sure. Now there's a big fight coming up: Anthony Johnson versus Daniel Cormier. You're not their coach. You don't see them practice. But if you look at body types, right? Let's say you don't know anything about either guy, but you look at body types and they say, "Hey, Rulk, we want you to formulate a strategy for their training. We want you to get them good at something based on the way they look, based on what they're going to do as well. They're both going to compete in an MMA fight, but one guy looks like Anthony Johnson."
One
guy looks like Daniel Cormier. Both impressive looking guys, but one guy, they both have different body types. What would you focus more on for an Anthony Johnson looking fellow fighting in MMA and a Daniel Cormier?
Like for Anthony, if we look at just strictly as them as fighters, of course, Daniel has such amazing wrestling. His wrestling pedigree is, at top of the food chain.
Sure.
And I'm sure Anthony's is as well, but Anthony's an extremely explosive athlete.
Yeah.
But, I think the object for Anthony would probably be, I'd say, let's try to get you as strong as possible on the ground. Of course, take down defense and working the different, working his hip explosion and making sure that he's comfortable on the ground and strong on the ground. Because I'm sure that's where, Cormier would feel most comfortable or would want to take the fight. Not that he can't handle him standing, but I think he has the best chances of winning there if he takes him down. Yeah. So in that regard, I don't know how much strength work specifically Anthony does on the ground, and in the position of someone on top of you or someone being on top and holding those positions and being comfortable and familiar with that in regards to conditioning. So a lot of his conditioning would probably be on the ground, a lot of crawl work, etc.
Yeah.
With Daniel, it'd be with Daniel, I think it'd be different. I mean, I think with Anthony, he's so explosive and so quick. It's a little bit more speed, agility work, maybe potentially, and just understanding how to work those transition and move and get quick and find the openings where you can take someone down. Take Anthony down. So. And once again, you look at that, and then you kind of put that on the board, and you say, okay, guys, let's try to do it, and you start working through movements. And as these guys start to go through the movement patterns, you'll start to identify, oh wow, he looks a little stiff in that.
Yeah.
There's this, that area looks a little weak in that position. Why is he weak in that position? And understanding, maybe he has, some deficiencies here or there or whatever. And that could be because of an injury or whatever it could be. And basically you work around that and go, okay, we got to work on that. Because you're really trying to make him bulletproof.
Yeah.
In some regard, with each athlete is try to get them to the point where they're strong and they're comfortable to apply their techniques because they're not winded or they're not weak in that movement or that position. And that's kind of what I would try to do. And a lot of that has to go. That's why the first few times you're working with someone, you kind of watch them and look at them and go, okay, they're weak. We got to work on that. Their speed, their transition, their hips are a little bit slow. Their hips are a little bit weak. Wow, okay, this is, what I mean? And those are the things that you identify. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be a great fight, by the way. But I think definitely
that is
that's kind of how I look at it.
What's your prediction on that fight? Who's going to win?
Ooh, I don't know, man. That's a hard one. Hey. You're always with the prediction, brother. Golden Throat. What do you say, Golden Throat?
Yeah,
I'm going to Anthony Johnson. I think he's going to catch him.
And then Habitual. What about you?
Dude, it's hard to go against the champ. It's hard to go against the champ. So I think I'm gonna go with the champ.
Oh, okay. You're the tiebreaker, Doug. Who do you got? Gun to your dick,
bro. I say draw. I say draw.
Oh, damn.
Kidding, I was trying to stay middle ground, bro. No, I mean, I don't know. I think Cormier's wrestling is top notch. Yeah. It's just hard because Anthony is so explosive.
Yeah.
So
he has the X factor.
It's just that explosiveness, But once again, I think if Daniel's able to get him on the ground, he's just gonna maul him. He's just on the ground. I mean, we've seen it before. He's just so strong.
Yeah, man.
That get somebody down.
That whole gym are just a bunch of killers, man.
Yeah,
just like
dude, dude, for sure. That gym just like a den of like lions.
It is, man. So. It really, that's exactly how.
Yeah, and it's funny with predictions. A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you gotta," especially in rematches, predictions for rematches. Normally when we make a prediction, it's hypothetical because these guys have never fought. But when you have a rematch, we actually have some data we could pull from.
Right.
And in that sense, we have data. Obviously, there were some things that could have been. They both weren't optimal for each other because they weren't scheduled to fight the first time. But we do have data to pull from. And you can't bet against Daniel when he won the way he won in the first fight. That's my point about this prediction.
True.
No, that makes total sense. And like I said before, if he's able to get Anthony down, he's just so strong and so comfortable in that position. That's where he's been his whole career.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure he's gone against athletes that are just as explosive and powerful as Anthony.
True.
On the ground. So for him, it's like, he's a beast, but I've dealt with beasts before on the ground. So I think in regard to that, that's the key. But then with Anthony, once again, I mean, that guy is so fast and powerful. If he touches you, I mean, you're going to feel it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm picking DC, but I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony pulls out a knockout. Just because of the fighter he is, that's his strength. Yeah. And he's been doing it time and time again. I mean, his last, 90% of his last fights have ended in knockouts.
Sleepovers.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've seen times.
Slumber
I've
parties.
seen times when Anthony looks tired, fatigued, or injured, or hurt, and he still pulls it out. He just touches them because he's just so powerful.
Yeah.
He just touches them, and the guys they go sleep. You know what I mean? You're just like, wow, I didn't see that coming. But
and he's hitting that chin, man. He's accurate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Laser accurate in some ways, man. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think Daniel's a great enough athlete, and he's the champ that he'll know how to work around that. I'm sure he's worked with guys to get himself familiar with that. But I mean that's going to be a great fight. I mean, I think it's a lot better fight that people are even understanding. I think people are saying, "Oh, it'll be all right. It's a rematch," but it's a really great contrast of styles.
Sure.
And
that's exactly.
You know what's crazy? There's another fight. I'm not sure if it's on that card or the next one. I believe it's on that card. It's very similar to that fight. in the sense of style matchups, and that's Jacare Souza versus Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker is just like Anthony Johnson, powerhouse when it comes to the hands. And Jacare is just like Cormier when it comes to taking the fight to the ground and dominating. So
No, I agree. I agree.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
It's going to be good. Like I said, I mean, there's a lot of great fights coming up. They're doing a great job of pairing people together.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, man.
Have you ever worked with Jacare?
Who do you guys have for Bisping St. Pierre? Who do you guys have?
Can we even pick? Because you're boys with Bisping. You guys are like
I know who you have.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Bisping. I think it's GSP hasn't been in the game for a while. He has something to prove, so I want to see him come back.
Well, everybody has something to prove.
Thanks, man. There goes my.
That's like saying, well, you know,
I get it.
A water has to flow, so.
Hey, Bitual, relax.
Dude, look at Bitual. Bitual's in the zone right now, bro.
I know. He drank his coffee. He grew a few pubes.
I don't know if you heard Ames. I like Bisping, and I like what he said recently in an interview. On his podcast, he said, "Listen, I'm scheduled to fight GSP, and I want to fight him in July. They still haven't signed a contract, but he's been hearing rumblings that GSP wants to fight later in the year, October, September. And what he went out and said on his podcast is, listen, if they're gonna push the fight back to September, October." I'm fighting Yoel. I can't wait.
There you go.
And I'm the champion.
It's a fighting champ.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait for some guy so that he can fight me for my belt.
Yeah.
And I can't wait around a full year just to wait for a guy that's coming back after 3 years laid off and not even in this division.
Yeah, it's 3 years,
I respect that.
Yeah.
And he's like Yoel is a much bigger challenge than GSP. Let's face it.
Yeah. Right now.
Oh, he's a monster. He's a monster.
He's a monster.
Bro. That guy's a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah.
That kid's a monster.
Yeah. So with that said, I do pick Bisping versus GSP because of the factors that we're dealing with. Bisping is at a high in his career. Yeah. Confidence is high. Skill level is high.
Championship mind level now.
And GSP is been out for 4 years.
Yeah. It's too long. I mean,
it's just with GSP, it's just interesting because I think everyone's wondering what it's going to be like. I've never seen a guy come back from that long of being out of the game, straight into that fight and just be like, oh man, he was clicking on all cylinders.
Exactly.
It rarely happens.
The only guy I know who came
Dominic
back,
Cruz.
Dominic Cruz. There you go. I was gonna say Michael Jordan, but whatever.
Yeah.
Tomato. But like GSP, if anybody could do it, it's him. He's still young, but you're fighting.
It's just hard though. Because have you ever seen a guy come back from that long of a layoff and even after the performance, after the fight, after the game, and be like, man, it was like I didn't miss a step. Yeah. I felt perfect.
No way.
It's never the case. It's always no matter what. Even if they perform okay or well, they're like, it was okay for my first time back, but I still got a lot to improve, and I need to come back. It's never at a high level, and I don't think to beat Bisping, you can just come back and be like, I was at a 70%. I'm feeling all right, and you got to come with full throttle.
Hell yeah. And he's coming back to a higher weight class. If we take the basketball thing, it's like Michael Jordan coming back after 4 years and playing center. Yeah. It's like.
That's true. Yeah.
You're not only coming back after a long layoff, you're coming back and facing bigger guys. Yeah. It's different.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I'm sure he's been sparring and he's with the big gloves on, but now you're going to play with the small gloves.
Yeah.
With guys that hit harder and bigger guys. It's wow. It's a recipe for game changing. Exactly.
Since you're boys with Bisping, how big is he? Like on TV, in the octagon, he doesn't look very big, especially compared to the other. Middleweights. But how big really is he?
He's a big guy. I mean, he's big. I mean, he's tall and he's big and he moves around. You feel, and I've seen it. When he's moving around the cage, and the guys can feel his size. He's a big guy. So
it's hard to tell.
Like I said again, I know he's brought that up before with fighting GSP, but it's valid. I mean, he's fighting a big dude. So.
Yeah. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think the Yoel Romero fight would be very interesting because Yoel's a beast against Bisping, but it's just hard. He hasn't fought in so long. He's going on a higher weight class. Yeah. And I don't know what to expect. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you went in the fight and then it was like one-sided and you're like, what the heck what was this? Why did we get involved?
I'd rather see Yoel fight instead of GSP.
Yoel!
That thing,
to be honest.
Michael Bisping!
Hello, Mike! Hello, Mike!
here's a fun question. The UFC came to you, Rulk. They said, "Hey, listen, we are going to start monitoring all the fighters. We are going to start picking the trainers for them. You have to pick a trainer. I mean, you have to pick a fighter. We have 2 more on the list. There's only 2 left. You get to pick Yoel Romero, or GSP. You get to pick."
Bro, I go Yoel.
Yeah.
I think that kid is just.
So you'd rather train him over GSP?
I've seen GSP is a great athlete. Let's get this right. GSP is a great athlete. We've all seen how fast he is. We've seen him train. We've actually seen him do his strength and conditioning work.
Yeah.
Extremely explosive, extremely quick, agile, etc. But Yoel Romero, that guy is he's just a beast. He's a specimen, and I would love to just spend some time just working with him, building out curriculum, because that kid would he'd be like, "Hey, Rulk, I just crawled 20 miles," and then stand up and salute me,
and do a backflip, Yeah,
and do a backflip, salute me. That's right, Rulk. It was like, salute me. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Thank you, Rulk.
Wow, bro.
How high?
Thank you, Rulk.
Thank you.
How high do you think Yoel could jump? How high can that guy jump?
Yo, he's just a specimen.
He's a specimen, bro. The kid's just a freak, man.
He's a freak when all the other UFC fighters talk about how big of a freak he is. At that age. Homeboy isn't like a spring chicken, man.
I know. Exactly, bro.
Right?
I don't know. The thing is that the kid's got technique, and he's just, I don't know, man. The kid hits so hard, and he's just so explosive. The sky's the limit for him. So it's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. That fight with Mike is going to be a good one. I think.
Yeah,
it's gonna be, both of them are going to have their hands full.
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm hoping that this GSP Bisping fight doesn't happen.
Yeah,
just because I hate when things get mixed up too much. I love GSP. He was one of my favorite fighters. Still is. All-time greats. But I hate that he came to and screwed up a different weight class.
Yeah.
Screw up your own weight class. Don't screw up this weight class.
Yeah, man. I would like to see him fight Tyrone.
Exactly.
Tyrone Woodley or something. I would see that fight because I see the styles. I mean, it's basically a very, very similar styles, and that would be interesting. You know what I mean? But it would be a tough fight for him, and I don't know how that would go, but that would be basically 2 styles going head to head, that are very similar.
Now let me ask you something. Yeah. He said he wants to come back to cement his legacy and to prove that he's number 1 pound for pound or whatever. Do you think it would have been more powerful if he comes back, beats Michael Bisping, becomes the middleweight champ? Now he's got 2 belts, never lost any of those belts. Or do you think it would cement his legacy even more and more powerful, more big of a story if he came back to his former weight class instead and fought Woodley, and then if he won that one? Would that be a more powerful situation or that one?
If we were telling this story, I think it would sound better if he just, after that long of a layoff, came back to the same division where he never lost the title and just won it again. He's the current champion. It was like, and just say, hey, listen, I took off this much time. I came back. I still beat the champion. I'm always going to be the champion. I never was not the champion. And then at that point, as the 170 champion, if he goes, okay, now I'm going to take on the 185. Now it's another challenge because now, basically I'm the best in this division still after taking this much time off.
Yeah, and I'm still whipping
now
people.
Let me go. Now what? Let me take on another person. And then, of course, then he fights out. Say he won the 185-pound belt. Now he's got 2 belts. Now I'll be like, okay, then let me fight. Who else I got to fight? Now he's now he's like Connor.
And then move up to heavyweight.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, but I agree with you, man. I agree with you because right now it's like, and here's the thing: weight classes, they mean a lot, but when they're similar weight classes, at any given time, any one of these guys could beat each other. Doesn't mean you're the best. Doesn't mean you're the champ. If GSP comes back, hypothetically, and winds up beating Bisping, that doesn't mean he's the best 185-pounder. That just means he beat the champion. So it doesn't hold as much weight for me right now. Now, like you said, if he came back and fought for his belt, the 170, and then moved up, and now it's like he proved himself again that he's still the best at one weight class, and then came up to 185, different story.
Yeah.
Or if he fought 185, once, maybe 2 times, and then fall for the belt. Now you've earned the right to beat the champ and say, hey, I'm the best at this weight class. So
no, I agree. And like I said, I just think the storyline is even better to tell the story that you were the 170-pound champ. You left. You never lost.
Hell yeah.
You left. And then you come back there for all this time, and you fight immediately. Go after the champ in your division that they gave, that won the belt while you were gone, and you beat him. Yep. And now what? Because now you're basically, I've been the champ the whole time, and all these other fights at 170 were meaningless because I was the champ the whole time.
Yeah,
I beat the best guy you had, even after taking this much time off.
Yeah.
So now he is the great. He'd be the greatest one in welterweight ever because he basically won everything, leaves, comes back, and still wins.
Sure.
And so I think at that point now, his stock is even higher, and you're like, okay, now let me take on what I want to take on. Do I want to go down? Do I want to go up? And I think that makes sense. But I don't know. I was always scratching my head with the whole fight. I mean, I can't blame Mike for not taking the fight. It's a money fight. It's a great fight for him business wise. But I mean, for the fans and just for the division, it makes me scratch my head a bit.
Yeah. And no offense to either guys, but Michael Bisping, he earned the right to be to be called the best 185er right now because he earned his right to the belt, to the title shot, and won it.
Right.
But I don't know. Honestly, Bisping versus GSP doesn't intrigue me as much as Bisping versus Yoel would, or GSP versus Woodley would. That's not the most intriguing matchup for me, honestly. I don't know why.
No, because I mean, you brought up a great point, which was if say he got past Mike, say he gets past Bisping, now he's the middleweight champ. Is now he really the middleweight? I mean, everyone's looking at him like you beat Bisping. Now it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know. That's just me. And like I said, no disrespect to the guys. I mean, I understand it's a business and you got to make money, but I just think, man, I can imagine coming back. I think it'd be a great fight with Woodley. Just the styles, the matchups, amazing. And no matter how he did in that fight, even if it was competitive and he lost a decision or he didn't win, fuck, I mean, to come back after all that time and be that competitive against a champ in your division, that would be, dude. I just see that's the best situation ever, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. There's always things behind the scenes. So.
And don't get it twisted. Respect to Bisping. I'm not saying anything that he's not the champ or not the best. It could, regardless of who GSP comes back and fought as the champion, it didn't have to be Bisping. It could have been Luke Rockhold or Weidman or Anderson Silva. If GSP came back and beat whoever the champion was, didn't matter that it's Bisping. No disrespect to him. Saying that if he beats him, that's not what I'm saying.
I mean, all the respect to Mike. I mean, Mike he has paid his dues, and
he is the best 185er.
He's beat everyone that they put in front of him, and he handled Rockhold the way that he said he was going to handle him.
Man.
He's the champ. He is the champ, legitimate 100% champ. But and like I said, I think even for him, I understand him, taking the fight if it's offered to him for GSP totally makes sense. He's got to take care of his family, and it makes sense. For him personally. But in regards to just fighting, like the division and as fans,
the logjam.
You look at it and go, man, you'd like, man, I wish I could see this fight or that fight. I think that's something that everyone wants to see.
Agreed, man.
Hey, listen, man. It's been fun.
On
but
that
we gotta
note,
go.
we got to go.
You've been taking
because we could have honestly we could have been here for like another 2 hours.
Yeah. Somebody's got to pull the plug.
You're in, dude, the velvety voice is there right now. It takes you about an hour and a half to get that sultry velvet voice going.
Hey, that's what I do, man. That's what I do,
man. They don't call him Silky Johnson for nothing.
He is Silky Johnson. Oh my God, the velvet teddy bear. The velvet teddy bear.
Oh, let's go to work. Let's go to work. Yo, Rulk, thank you so much for jumping on. If anyone wants to reach out to you, where can they hit you up, man?
Actually, you can get me up through my email, DaRulk at DaRulk.com, and the new site's being redone, etc. right now, or just through Instagram.
Nice.
I'm not a huge social media guy. The only thing I have is Instagram, so I mean the best way to get in touch with me. But I'm not like Abe. You're next level with the social media, bro. I'm not on that level yet.
He's holding around, man.
Bro, he's a butterfly. He's a butterfly, bro. That's what he is. He's a butterfly.
No big deal. Oh man. Hey, but thank you so much for jumping on with us. We'll probably get you on like in another few weeks or tomorrow.
All love, bro. Thanks you guys. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey, take care, brother.
Hey, take care, brother. Bye.
Peace.